Hello, and welcome to Surge's 7th annual Pitch It to Win It pitch competition. My name is Natalie Reed, and I have been the Surge coordinator for the past 4 years. This year, we have 5 student entrepreneurs who are pitching to gain resources to start their businesses. This year's grand prize is valued at $4,500 and includes $1,500 in printing and graphic design support from A3H Imaging, a 1-year subscription to Shopify, $250 to Amazon, and $1,500 cash. Lastly, the first and second place winners will receive a customized, multifaceted consulting program where they'll be exposed to business leaders across the GTHA. Each pitch will be evaluated by 3 judges. First, Carolyn Reed is a business development consultant with the City of Hamilton's Economic Development Division. Over the last 20 years, she has held several key leadership roles that have been of great benefit to the City of Hamilton, its citizens, and businesses. She managed and established the first small business enterprise center in the City of Hamilton. She managed the city's brownfield portfolio, laying the foundation for the redevelopment of hundreds of contaminated sites. And currently, she's putting her efforts into managing the emerging economic sectors of life science and digital media for the city. Next, we have Melanie Wong, who is the founder of Olive and Splash Bamboo Apparel. She oversees everything from concept to completion, from the front end to the back end operations. Melanie believes hard work, perseverance, and showing up every day is what sets the company apart and propels it forward. Melanie studied international politics at Brock University, traveled the world for ideas and inspiration before finishing her postgrad in public relations at Mohawk College. Lastly, Ryan Anderson is the general manager for the Center for Entrepreneurship at Mohawk College. With over 20 years of experience in various levels of education and private business, Ryan brings to Mohawk College a passion and track record of success for developing entrepreneurs and leadership programming. Most recently, Ryan served as the Vice President of Operations for the LC Group in Hamilton. Prior to joining LC Group, Ryan worked for CarStar Collision and Glass as Director of Learning and Development for North America and Canadian Director of Operations. Ryan's commitment to leading high-performing teams was recognized in 2018 by the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce, winning the award for top medium-sized business, and in 2016 by TD Insurance for program leadership. After I receive all of their feedback, I'll be announcing the winner tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. right here. Without further delay, let's meet this year's competitors and learn all about their businesses.
Have you ever refused to stop shoveling the snow until the whole street was clear? Do you fling your kids over your shoulder nearly as often as Santa does his sack on Christmas Eve? Are you bending over into a crib more times in a week than you can count? Do you lug around your wheelbarrow or sit at a desk? I certainly do. And my body has taken notice. Today, much like most days, my body feels rusty. But I know I'm not the only one in this creaky boat. Hello, everyone. My name is Jessie McLean, and I'm the co-founder of Juniper Wellness Co., a multidisciplinary wellness clinic and lifestyle shop dedicated to the promotion and maintenance of optimal health through natural and preventative care, a neighborhood hub for those seeking a holistic approach to the health and well-being of the whole family, supported by the offering of our supervised playroom for the kiddos. The number of Canadians using complementary or alternative therapy has been steadily increasing, with more than 3/4, that's 79%, having used at least one therapy service sometime in their lives. That's 79% of the country that is in this creaky boat with me. Strenuous use isn't the only reason our bodies are as stiff as stale bread, though. Stress and anxiety tend to overstay their welcome and cause our bodies grief. While stress increases cortisol production, massages increase endorphins, such as serotonin and dopamine. These endorphins are body's feel-good chemicals. As endorphins spread throughout the body, relaxation sets in. And because of this, it's no surprise that the use of massage treatments is on the rise and has been the most common type of therapy that Canadians use over their lifetime, with 44% having tried it by 2016. That's nearly half the country on team massage. Even though 67% of Canadians have extended health coverage, massage, physiotherapy, chiropractic, psychological services have all been increasing the usage over the last decade. They are still being claimed by a small fraction of those eligible for the benefits. A 10-year data collection found that massage claims have increased from just under 10% of plan members to about 27% in 2013. That's going to be updated soon. At Juniper Wellness Co., it's our goal to offer a space that's so inviting and convenient that no benefit will go unclaimed. Look, for 5 years I was a single mother. The cost of living brought me to Hamilton, where I had no network. The concept of having some time alone for self-care was completely off my radar. Being social with my little one was always such a feat of pulling favors or hoping to find an available babysitter. Sometimes all that's needed is a quick hour to recharge, but it was almost always easier to skip the hassle. Hamilton is home to 37,475 single parents, just like me, 80% of whom are single moms, and 94,525 couples with kids, 62% with 2 or more. Juniper Wellness Co. is happy to offer a child-minding service to the busy parent. Single parent, new parent to Hamilton that has not yet developed a network of caretakers. Parents on holiday, a parent who wants to skip the hassle of making schedules work with a sitter. A parent that just needs a moment to themselves. To make the most of this space, it will be a daycare space by day, but a community workshop space by night. The primary service that Juniper Wellness Co. will offer is a variety of massage therapy. It will be included but not limited to relaxation massage, a therapeutic massage including pregnancy massage, trigger point work, hydrotherapy, fascial work, treatment for headaches, repetitive strains, and rehabilitation. Co-founder Nicole Meads has been a practicing registered massage therapist for 13 years. She has practiced in clinic settings, yoga studios, and hotel spas, offering all of the above. She also gives guidance for breathing and visualization, relaxation techniques, and remedial exercise. She will be managing the team of clinicians, maintaining community outreach, and arranging community events. So let's talk about our target market. Alternative medicine is most popular among respondents aged 35 to 44. And it rises with income and education level. 61% of respondents who had a degree have also tried at least one form of alternative therapy, compared to 40% that didn't graduate high school. Similarly, 62% of those earning $80,000 or more each year have done so, compared to 51% of those just earning $20,000 or less. A study found that just over half of the respondents, 57%, had some form of health insurance beyond their provincial coverage. It was most common amongst those ages 35 to 44 and 45 to 64. In our target market, we are seeking parents that live in the east or central neighborhoods of Hamilton that believe in the power of self-care. They shop with the eco-conscious approach. And then maybe they're a parent that want to utilize our child minding when they're in treatment. And maybe they have extended health benefits and they'll look back every week. For our marketing, what we're really looking for is brand awareness a booked up calendar. We want to attract the best practitioners. Social media marketing can be a very effective and cost-efficient way to reach the target market for Juniper Wellness Co. Instagram and Facebook will be used for brand awareness and website bridging. Having an easy-to-navigate and attractive website with thorough and up-to-date information on schedules and quick appointment booking will be necessary for success. Sponsoring events or programs that also reach our target market will be a source of effective marketing for the desired target market. So our sales process. Juniper's massage therapy prices align with what is recommended by the college. And it's slightly a couple dollars more. Our child minding services are $8 per hour per child. But if you give it a membership and you come more than once a month, then you get 25% off. Product prices will align with industry standards. So in making the sale, the services will be pre-booked online via the Jane booking app. Post-treatment, the client can pay via credit card or debit on the Square terminal. Lifestyle shop items are available in-store or online, shipping and in-store pickup available. For the sale reoccurrences, the service reoccurrences vary on the client's needs and their financial means. On an average, a client comes for a 60-minute massage every 3 weeks. Shop items vary in rebuy. Some items may be picked up each week, like chocolate or ritual incense, or there's face oils and body oils that can last up to 3 months. So our startup costs. The projected cost is $35,000 to $40,000. Roughly for the rent and the build out, it's going to be $18,000. For different types of service fees, roughly $3,000. Equipment and furniture, roughly $10,000. And the shop inventory, roughly $5,000. So in a year from now, we're going to be operating for 6 months with a steady revenue incline from fierce brand awareness to reach over 10,000 followers on both Instagram and Facebook. In 5 years from now, we want to build a replicable brand with it from an operations standpoint. We want to expand our community events. We want to expand strategic alliances. In our growth expansion, we want to create teachable content, create a branded product line, and do retreats. We are so excited to bring Juniper Wellness Co. to our community. This past year has taught us more than ever how important community is and how impactful it is to make time for self-care. Your vote for us means so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Hi, everyone. My name is Katie, and welcome to my Mohawk College Pitch It to Win It competition. Just a little bit about myself. Hello, I'm Katie, and I own the Monarch Tea Co. based here in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and I'm a certified tea sommelier through the Tea and Herbal Association of Canada. I do virtual tea talks and workshops online and in person worldwide, and I have my tea sold in boutiques across Ontario. I offer retail and wholesale pricing, and I have a bespoke line of delicious tea blends for every tea lover. You can find me at monarchteaco.com and at monarchteaco. And before I begin my pitch competition, I just wanted to let you know a little bit about my history with Mohawk College. I actually had a passion for tea, was very interested in pursuing it. So I found out there was a tea sommelier program through the Mohawk College continuing education course. So in the middle photo, that's me in tea class, learning how to sip tea like a tea sommelier, blind tasting over 20 different types of tea and learning to train your palate to be able to identify different tea types, terroirs, and tasting notes. Shortly throughout the course, Mohawk College actually invited me to be on the cover of the Continuing Education magazine, which was a true honor. So that's me in the very early stages of starting my business. And on the right-hand side, that is when I became a certified tea sommelier through the Tea Board of Canada and also received the Mohawk College certificate for completing my course. So it's an honor to actually be here to pitch my business to you, as I have a really great history with Mohawk and have some great memories of attending the class there as well. So what is the problem? So in light of the recent pandemic, a huge amount of people are working from home, especially in the corporate sector. A lot of people love this, a lot of benefits to that, but it can also have a lot of isolation, lack of communication, socialization and bonding among coworkers, as there's none of that in-person banter anymore. There's no team meetings, at least in person, where you can really have fun and connect and get to know each other better. So a lot of companies are looking for ways to increase bonding, increase productivity, and also help with morale. So introducing Monarch Tea Co. virtual guided tea workshops. So our mission: we believe tea is a unifying beverage that helps bring people together, break down boundaries, and spread a sense of well-being. At Monarch Tea, our vision is to bring the art, history, and culture of tea time to our community through hands-on engagement in our virtual and in-person tea events. So this is what a Monarch Tea Co. virtual tea talk looks like. So before COVID, all of my events were in person. Of course, I sell bespoke loose leaf tea in boutiques, but I also offered in-person tea workshops. So tea blending, tea and chocolate, tea and cheese, tea cocktail makings. Last March, I quickly pivoted and brought this online, and it is now the largest sector of my business. So it's quite new, about a year in doing virtual workshops, but I have seen a huge demand for this need and this service. People are looking for a connection and looking for a way to safely have fun together in the comfort of their own homes. So that's me right there, offering a virtual tea workshop to a corporate client. Everyone, you can see on the right-hand side, will get something that looks like that mailed directly to their house. So this is our guided tea and chocolate workshop. They get 4 chocolates, 4 loose leaf teas, a tea tasting wheel, and a 20-pack of fill your own tea bags mailed directly to their house. So the company will provide me with a list of employees and addresses, or just their corporate head office, and I'll mail the packages directly to where they choose. Then everyone gets a welcome email with a Zoom link, and they meet me online, real life, like this, and we do a guided virtual workshop with slides, very interactive, fun-loving, and really hands-on. They're learning how to brew tea. We do a guided tea tasting together, and we're doing some fun pairings like our tea and chocolate workshop. So this right here is our #1 bestseller, which is the tea and chocolate. My secondary products, of course, are my loose leaf teas that I sell in boutiques. This is just a close-up of some of our packaging. Each bag is hand sealed with wax to show the love and care that goes into each tea. So what makes us unique? What's our competitive advantage? All teas are hand blended by myself, Katie, certified tea sommelier. I'm known as a leading expert in the tea industry here in Canada. So I've spoken at the Toronto Tea Festival, RBG Tea Festival, written for Tea Time magazine and UK Tea and Herbal Infusion magazine. So I am working my way to becoming very well known in the tea industry as an expert, especially with food and tea pairings as well. I create unique, engaging, creative, and fun virtual tea events, which are quite unique. We're seeing a lot of online events now, but tea time, very, very fun. And to find someone that offers the gifting option as well as an online workshop all in one is quite unique. So who's my target market? So I have 2 target markets for the loose leaf tea with my online sales. My primary target is millennials, but I'm also seeing consumers between the ages of 20 to 55 years old, predominantly women. These are people, the spendable income that want to support local, support, of course, small business, and appreciate a unique bespoke product that's made in small batches and that has a story behind it. These are people that love to spend a little money on dining out, trying new restaurants, maybe are in a foodie scene or follow food blogs, and love collecting unique products to share with themselves and others. My secondary target market is for my corporate workshop. So this is a corporate clientele, predominantly North American corporations, although I have done worldwide events for Europe as well. So these are people with a large amount of their employees in work from home situations. They're looking to increase employee engagement. Often they have a larger budget to spend and use towards unique events. So since October 2020, which is when we've launched the corporate events, I've offered over 50 corporate virtual events and gifting. So I've worked with companies such as Google, Averna Engineering, Warner Media, RBC, BMO, and a lot of different law firms and private equity firms as well. So since the start of the pandemic, we have seen a 2,500% increase in searches and queries towards virtual events. So these are corporations looking to build team building activities. US was number 2 out of 13 companies that had the highest search amount for these type of events, where Canada was number 4. And those are my 2 predominant countries that I work with, although I do still have the online options. So marketing, so how am I getting out there? I invest right now between $250 to $500 a month on Google advertising, which has brought in a huge sector of business. Just in February alone, for just website only sales on loose leaf tea, Google ads contributed to $3,500 of online sales. You can see here, if you do a quick Google search of tea talks, virtual tea workshop, local tea company, anything like that, Monarch Tea should be the first or second search that comes up. So you can see here, that's an ad version. I also still have 5 stars on Google, working to get larger reviews. I also rely a lot on social media engagement. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter as well. I also do targeted promotional events. So just recently I had 45 attendees on a free virtual tea party on Zoom, where everyone came prepared with their own cup of tea. And I did a mini version of a tea talk. So attendees were able to kind of get a sense and a feel of what a tea talk is. I'm also advertised on Airbnb. So they have a new aspect they launched about a year ago called Airbnb virtual experiences. And I have found a huge amount of my clients through there, as I'm noticing a lot of corporate events are people in charge of creating those team building events have Airbnb profiles, and they're starting to look through Airbnb online events to see people to offer these workshops. So that is where I connected with Warner Media, Google, Facebook, all through the Airbnb online events. So you can find me there. It's also a great way for me to connect with regular consumers as well, who are just on there looking to have a special event. So sales process. So just to give you some ideas on pricing, this is my website here, monarchteco.com. So average monthly website revenue is about $3,500 a month, with an average sale of $65. Finding the average tea consumer, so these are just regular folks who are buying tea or purchasing about once a month. I do offer new workshops every quarter. So I have tea and chocolate, tea 101, tea blending, tea and cheese are just a few of the different workshops I offer. So I'm finding I'm having regulars now who are doing repeat orders of different workshops as they want to learn more. I do ship worldwide and have free shipping on all North American orders over $50. And then on the right-hand side, that's me before COVID. Last February at the Momentum conference, which was put on by Loblaws and Shoppers Drug Marts for 3,000 pharmacists across Canada. So I was there offering a virtual tea blending, an in-person tea blending workshop. So that's me taking a little break to show some of the tea that some people had blended. The events can range for corporate events starting at $225. So that would be if you just want everyone to show up on Zoom, come prepared with their own favorite cup of tea for a 1-hour virtual workshop. So it's $225 for a 1-hour flat rate for up to 100 people. I've done events as large as $5,000 to $6,000, but that's depending on how many people are joining the event. So let's say our tea and chocolate workshop, 6 chocolates, 6 teas, 1-hour virtual online workshop, and shipping to your employees is $70 a person. So that depends, of course, how large their company is. So I've done events for up to 200 to 300 folks that are joining in, and as small as 6 people, depending on the corporation size. Generally, I find with the corporations, it's a one-off. So they're having me to do a special event. Although I have had companies such as Loblaws, they've now had me back for 3 different events so far. So the connections I'm able to make, there's different, often larger companies will have different sectors. They have me do the HR, and now I'm doing the accounting department, now I'm doing the legal department. So building that rapport and brand presence has helped me enhance further connections with different companies. So that's just another quick preview on what a tea and chocolate looks like. I'm just explaining the pricing behind that. That's me just doing the tea 101. So bring your own cup of tea and come prepared. And that's $225 for a 1-hour workshop. And on the right-hand side, that is also just before COVID. That was early last March in 2020. That was me at the Shoppers Drug Mart head office in Toronto. I've also done one for League Benefits in Toronto, and that was a build your own tea bar. So just to give you an idea of what an in-person event looks like during regular times, that is a kind of a buffet of tea where folks get to get their own little bag of tea and create their own custom blend with over 24 different herbs and spices, as well as a tea bar in the back where they can have hot tea and take it back to their desk and work. So just a quick bit about numbers. So I did not launch my virtual event workshops until October of 2020. So that was just on the tail end of 2020. So 2020 last year, I did gross sales of $44,000 with about a net revenue of $16,000. This year, now that corporate virtual online workshops are in full swing, my projected sales are $150,000 gross revenue with a net revenue of $78,000 for 2021. And growth. So where are we going? So that was me doing a in-person event during normal times. So that is where I want to focus as we reopen. So I want to have it two-pronged: in-person events across Ontario, as well as continuing the virtual event platform, as there are still large percentage of people going to continue to work from home even after the pandemic is over. I have a lot of research behind that as well, with different stats with companies saying they plan to leave a large portion of their workforce in the work from home industry staying from home. So 2022, our projection is $250,000 in gross annual revenue. I want to focus on the virtual and in-person corporate events with a team of 3 people working for me, projecting $8,000 in monthly website revenue. And I will be a leading tea sommelier for events, media, and of course, large-scale corporate workshops. And in 5 years, in 2026, I'd love to see $1 million in gross sales. This is through an intense focus on doing a worldwide expansion. This would also be recruiting 2 or 3 other tea sommeliers in my team that speak different languages so I can hit a larger worldwide market. So predominantly, I'd like to see French, German, and some other different languages on board as well. This would be still a focus on virtual and in-person corporate events, as well as $15,000 a month in monthly website revenue. So expanding that global market and getting into at least 100 boutiques and stores across Canada. Just a quick note on growth and my plans for the future and my 3-prong focus. Phase 1 is investing further in marketing. So right now it's all word of mouth and people finding me organically on Google. But I really want to strategize with a marketing firm and actually gain new corporate clients through strategic ads. Right now, I'd love to focus on Toronto Life, Globe and Mail, radio, and then targeted ads in US cities. Staff, I'd love to bring on 1 part-time team member. This would be for order fulfillment, and a virtual assistant for actually scheduling the corporate events and doing promotion, as well as helping get me into different podcasts and online media interviews to gain brand awareness. Phase 3 would be further investment in my packaging, so working on tins and more luxury gifting options as well for the corporate events. I'd love to thank you so much for giving me the time to do my Pitch It to Win It pitch for Mohawk College. My name is Katie. You can find me at monarchtico.com and at monarchtico. I hope that you will help bring team engagement, bonding, and excitement into the world's virtual corporate events. I'm a pleasure to meet you today. Any questions at all, please reach out to me at katie@monarchtico.com. Thank you, judges, so much for your time, and I wish you happy sipping. Bye.
K-Pies, helping you by serving them by Kaylee Harkness. Who is Kaylee Harkness? I was adopted at the age of 3. I had anxiety and depression growing up. And because of all of this, being around animals was super important to me. dogs really calmed me, they made me happy, and it was just really part of my therapy growing up. This experience has really made me caring and compassionate and considerate towards other individuals who are going through the same situation. And now that I do have a dog, I have more of an understanding of how much dogs really do impact a person's life, and I would really love to give that same blessing in any way I can to other people. So what is K-Pause? K-Pause is about providing that safe place indoors and outside for people to take their dogs to play or exercise when it's bad weather and they just need a calmer environment. I want to provide a place where people feel comfortable dropping their dogs off when they go to work. I want to provide a place for people to come in and connect with their dogs, as well as I want to be that support place for people with anxiety or depression or any other disability to come and really just have fun and get the therapy that they need. The problem. So dog socialization and exercise, they just are not getting out enough during the day. They are not socializing with other dogs. That's because people need to work more than one job to make ends meet. They don't have the time. They don't have the energy. Maybe they just don't know that dogs need to be socialized. Rescue dogs or timid dogs, they don't have anywhere to go because they can't go to a dog park to play. It's just too overwhelming. And mental illnesses or other disabilities, they are more and more every day, and there's not enough dog therapy groups out there to help support the need, the demand that people have for them. K-Pause target market. My best customers are the elderly, disabled, people who have long work hours, double income families, empty nesters, single essential workers. This target market reaches multiple reasons why people would need someone to watch their dogs during the day. Despite the global COVID-19 pandemic, people are still using doggy daycare services to socialize their dogs. You can be at work all day, you can be at home all day. No matter the situation, dogs still need to be with other dogs, playing, exercising, interacting. So even if you work from home, it is still important to go out and provide that service for your dog. Smaller rescue organizations are also the target, somewhere where they can bring their dogs when they are fostering, in the training process, and to socialize. I had the great privilege about 2 weeks ago to interview Sue Filion, who owns and operates J&J Elite Retreat. During the interview, she told me that within 2 years of opening in 2014, she had a waiting list of 42 dogs, and she's already 60 days booked into 2022. She told me that she finds that people do not want to put their dogs into kennels anymore, and they want a more family-friendly environment. Only 1% of her customers still visit their local dog park. I am finding dog parks are not as common as they used to be, but dogs still do need to socialize. 100% there is a need, and Sue Filion has agreed to mentor me during my first year of operations. The research. Dogs are pack animals. It would be a sin to withhold socialization from not only the individual dog, but a crime against nature itself. It would be great if every dog owner could have their own pack, but in reality we cannot afford the care for a multitude of dogs the size of a professionally run kennel. Dog socialization allows for more and better bonding. It is equally important to form a human-dog bond. Vet exams are less difficult. Data shows that 78.5% of dogs show some sort of fearful behavior while on the table. Study shows that dogs who are properly socialized were significantly less fearful. Develop social structures. Dogs develop roles of leaders and followers like humans. Socialization provides a better emotional well-being, which is vital for young dogs to get the attention and the time to mature into adult dogs. Social isolation can even lead to dog depression. Reduced aggression. 52% of all behavior issues are related to aggression. Housing dogs in groups rather than solitary does not lead to an increase in dog aggression. 91% of social confrontations between dogs are resolved through typical behavioral rituals. Studies show that playing with other dogs isn't about winning or losing. It's a form of a physical outlet which is essential to general health. Dogs who are not socialized are generally inactive and spend approximately 72 to 85% of their time sleeping. Currently, there are 50,000 licensed dogs in the Hamilton area, and 5,000 new licenses are issued each year in Hamilton. So the sales process: answering any questions with a personal phone call, providing quotations by email or in person. Forms must be completed and vaccination records must be submitted before the first visit, and follow up in person after the service with a phone call or in person, whatever comes first. So the startup process. I am starting my business by dog walking and dog sitting to kind of get into the industry and learn as much as I can before I plan to open next spring. So it starts with advertisement, personal marketing. Clients would call, message, or phone KPAWS for quotes, questions, or to book an appointment. KPAWS then follows up on client inquiries. KPAWS personally messages or phones confirms appointments. KPAWS first visit to meet the clients. KPAWS visits the client's house. Clients fill out the waiver and provides the vaccination forms, and first visits are always free. And after that first visit, we would set up that first initial dog walk or that dog sit with the client, and I would provide the service. After the service has been provided, I follow up on that visit, on that service, and I ask questions and offer a discount for referrals. In return, then KPAWS would receive payment and continues to provide the services, in which time I would also ask for a review. For my marketing, I have the door hanger on the right. I have business cards. I also rely on social media. I have a Facebook page and word of mouth asking for reviews and for referrals. KPAWS doggy daycare fees: $15 for drop-in, $25 for half day, and $35 for full day. These are per dog. We would also offer doggy daycare packages, so that would look like 10-day pass per price per dog, and then additional services will be added throughout the years, like dog training, pack walks, dog therapy groups, and dog grooming. And as a starting point, because I am starting as a dog walker, to gain the clients, $20 for 30 minutes, $25 for 45 minutes, and $30 for 60 minutes. And again, weekly deals are also available. So how I am going to grow KPAWS: I am starting with the dog walking, dog sitting, and through the next 3.5 years, I'll be applying to the Futurepreneur loan, hiring a bookkeeper, relocating to a house, starting the actual doggy daycare, hiring a manager to help the day-to-day operations, hiring more team members, relocating to a barn on a couple of acres, offering overnight boarding, and the end goal is I would like to have a dog trainer and a groomer to add to my services, and that's in about 3.5 years. So startup cost: to start KPAWS in the dog walking, dog sitting, marketing would be $100, gas, car repairs $300, seminars and training $1,100, and my business registration is $70, and that brings us to a total of $1,570. Thank you so much for watching KPAWS presentation, and have a great day.
Today, I'm going to be talking about my venture, Wings Working Holiday. In 2018, I asked my very good friend Sakura to move to New Zealand with me, partially as a joke since she didn't really speak any English. But to my surprise, she said yes. And through the entire process, I wasn't expecting this, which I should have. She was always asking me, "Sora, what does this say? What does this mean? What does this say?" So I just decided to commit and help her with everything and anything that she needed. So in the visa application, she screen shared on her computer for me, and I told her what to click. I told her what to fill in. When we went to book the tickets, she screen shared and I told her what to click and I told her which flights to choose. And when we finally got to New Zealand, I helped her find an apartment. I was on the phone for her when making a tax number, and I helped her with creating a new phone number. And even with writing a resume and finding a job even, the whole process was so difficult for her because she did not have the English language skill. But now she is with a partner who is a New Zealander, and they're looking to move in together once the pandemic has subsided. So with Wings Working Holiday, what we do is we help young people like Sakura between the ages of 18 and 30, because that is the visa restriction. We help them getting working holiday visas in Commonwealth countries like New Zealand, Australia, Canada, and England. So a little bit about myself. My name is Sora Namae, and I was born in Japan, and I moved to Canada when I was 9 years old. And I've also worked in an English language school called Say It Right Language School. It's an eikaiwa school for people who would like to learn English but do not have the opportunity to move abroad. Usually they start at kids and then they go all the way up to high school. Some kids even continue on in university. I've also done 2 working holiday visas, one in New Zealand and one in Australia. The mission statement for Wings Working Holiday is Wings Working Holiday makes dreams a reality for Japanese youth while creating connection amongst people and expanding their horizons. My market size and target market is really people who have been going to these eikaiwa schools because they clearly show a passion and a want to learn English. So targeting people who have been going to these schools for years and years and years and helping them solidify that language skill that they've spent so long learning. And since there's about 8,000 eikaiwa schools throughout Japan, and each of these schools has from 200 and 150,000 students, I think I have a pretty good market size. My key partners would be my school that I used to work for, such as Say It Right Language School. Say It Right Language School has just about 500 students in the Aizu area. Aizu is in Fukushima, which is just up north of Tokyo. There are also leads in other areas of Japan that I'm currently pursuing, such as there's another English school that I've recently accepted a job to in the south of Japan, who also has just about 500 students, and they have agreed to think about partnering with me as well. There's also potential in the future to partner with a travel agent just so I can get more consistent flight prices, as well as insurance companies such as Tobiho. My marketing would happen mostly online. Instagram and Facebook, I've already made those accounts, but also Google Suite so I can have a professional email address. But the main social media per se would be Line. Line is a WhatsApp for Japan. I'd be giving seminars on Zoom and in person as well throughout the English schools that I partner with in Japan. And in these seminars, I would be giving a price breakdown and to explain what exactly people would be paying for. So the actual process that we would go through at Wings Working Holiday is once someone's applied to Wings Working Holiday, I would talk to them and then I would receive the 35% non-refundable down payment. This payment would go towards their flight, their insurance, and the actual visa itself. And from there, we would create a payment plan. Obviously, I would like to receive the payment in 2 installments, the non-refundable down payment, and then the rest. But I would like this service that I'd like to offer more accessible to people. So if creating a payment plan is going to help people access this service, then so be it. So once we've created the payment plan, we would discuss and plan the client's trip. It's not going to be a cookie cutter trip for everybody. It's going to be a choose your own adventure. So if they want to do a homestay, then I can help them find a homestay. If they would like to rent an apartment and try this out all on their own, then we can do that as well. And once we've discussed and planned the trip, we can apply for the visa. The visa is only accessible to people, or it's only good for 1 year after you're accepted. So we'd have to time this with their payment plan. Once we've applied, we wait for the visa approval. It usually takes about a week and a half in most cases, but in Australia's case, it can take up to a month. And once the visa has been approved, we book the flights. Again, this would have to be timed properly because flights are cheapest between 3 and 6 months before the actual departure. And then we'd find an apartment or a homestay, but again, we can't book this a year in advance. So what we would do is we would wait until maybe 2 months before they leave, before we go and find them a homestay and an apartment. Once the full amount due is paid, ideally a month before their departure, then they're all set to go. I check in with them 2 weeks before their departure just to make sure they've packed everything and they're ready and they're feeling okay, because I am their support system. Then they're absolutely good to go. After that, it's their departure date. Anytime during this process, they are free to contact me, so that they feel okay and safe. But on the departure date specifically, because it is a very stressful, exciting, but stressful time for my clients. Once they've landed, I will call them an Uber. Ideally, eventually, I would like to have someone with a little sign with their names on it waiting at the airport, but that would have to be after I create more contacts and more people in those countries. But once they get there and they're home and settled in, the next day we would start creating a bank account, a phone number, a tax number, and anything else that they might need. And once they're settled in, they've started making friends, they've started working, then our contact will become much less. I would do either weekly or monthly check-ins with them, depending on what they're comfortable with. Once they're ready to come home after a year, I can help them book their flights home, and then they would come home. So what all this actually costs. So the main costs on what I cover in my pricing would be the visa, the flights, and the insurance. I put a little asterisk next to the flights because these are COVID pricing. Today, we're going to be going over the Canada example. So the visa itself costs 485 Canadian dollars, but the flight, as you see here, is $2,706.53. I personally have never paid more than $900 for a flight to or from Japan to Canada. So this is a little bit pricey, but flights do fluctuate, which is why I would like to partner with a travel agent just to get more cheaper and consistent pricing. Insurance for the year in Canada would be $2,317.24. Obviously, if my client doesn't want to stay for the entire year and they only want to stay for, let's say, 6 months, then we can just pay for the 6-month version. And then also the flight back I just put $2,706.53, same as the going there price. But altogether, this is about $8,000, which is expensive. It is not necessarily cheap to go on a working holiday visa. But as you can see here for New Zealand, the visa itself is $0. And it's only $768 to fly there, but the insurance is just about the same. So it really depends on the time of year and when the client would like to go to their new country. So what I actually charge per client would be $15,000 because of the fluctuating price and because I would be there for them through the entire process from before application to all the way until they get back. That it would be a full 1 or 2 years of my service. And plus, this is on average a $9,500 profit margin per client. The startup cost would be a little bit expensive. The domain, which I've already paid for, was $48.42. The domain name is wingsworkingholiday.com. And so with that, I would have to pay for a web design as well, which is $1,500 approximately. And then the business registration and any other fees is about $9,307.91. And since I will be working on my computer for the entirety of this process, I would probably need a new computer as well, which is just about $2,000. So the total would be $12,856.33. So why would people actually pay for this service? English through immersion is the best way, the most foolproof way to learn this language. It's not an easy language. And Sakura, my friend, who I mentioned at the beginning, was studying by herself for a good 2 years before going to New Zealand, but she still couldn't navigate her way through this process. She never would have gone. She would have looked at the application process and just said, never mind, I guess I'm not going. So English through immersion is the best way to learn and experience the language to an actual usable standard. And getting your language to an actual usable standard will increase your career opportunities, especially in a country like Japan, where not many people actually speak English. It is very much grounds for a promotion at work or even a different sort of job. I have friends who did working holidays in New Zealand as well, who now work at English conversational schools after their working holiday. And then also building a portfolio of life experience. It's not just a trip. This is a year of your life, and it's just such a great opportunity to learn and grow and mature. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for your time.
Hello, my name is Anastasia Kudrova Wilkinson. Today, I will be presenting to you my pitch. But before we get into it, I'd like to share this quote by Thomas Edison. There's a way to do it better, find it. So this really resonates with me, especially because the path that I've decided to take. See, I found a problem and I found a few solutions to this problem. It's just that the solutions could be done in a much better way, and I found this way. Through Technopic. This is the app that I am looking to develop that takes a evidence-based communication system where you basically exchange pictures and commonly used sentences to receive what you need from another person, or even just to have a conversation. So why me? Why should I be having this role? So first, it's because of my passion. I have so much passion for helping this community, and this is derived from a childhood experience where my best friend had a brother who was autistic. And I may not have known this at the time, but I did know that he was very much so bullied, and he was bullied a lot to a point where he had to leave his school. And this made me really upset at the time because I never really understood why until now. And that's why I have such a drive to help these individuals, especially those who have communication difficulties, to access affordable and alternative communication methods. So could you imagine sitting and wanting to get something, but you can't communicate that you need it, nor can you go up and get it yourself? It's extremely, extremely frustrating. And it's something that common people would not think about on a daily basis. So the experience that I have is also in this field where I have 3 years in specializing in autism and behavioral sciences at McMaster University. And this is where I've cultivated a lot of my knowledge about the autistic community and what they need to succeed in life. So before I continue, here's a quick video of the raw communication method so you can see how it's used.
Program starts with teaching a child to hand a picture to an adult and exchange that picture for an actual item. So, for example, if a child wants a banana, he can find the picture of the banana from a group of pictures. He then delivers the picture to the adult who takes the picture and can supply the goods. This is helpful to children who cannot easily say or remember words as they're learning to use verbal words.
The pigs. I want the farm animals.
So as you can see here, it takes a lot of time to get that message out and received. So as you could imagine, there's quite a few problems with this quite archaic method of using a binder and physical pictures. And there are a few people that have tried to create a solution to this, such as the app Prologue to Go and PEX4 Plus. But these apps also have a lot of their own flaws, mainly that they're very expensive. Prologue to Go is listed at $350, whereas PEX4 Plus is $85. So this is not affordable for many individuals on the autism spectrum, which is why it's a flaw. And also, many have reported that they're very complicated to use, and it's not made to perform for those who are severely autistic. And this is quite upsetting because those are the populations that they're aiming to provide for. So the problem is that the autistic community lacks effective, affordable, and accessible means of alternative communication. So as we've seen, the effectiveness of getting that message out takes a long time. It's not effective, as well as the accessibility. If you were to lose a picture and that child needed to say something with that picture, how would they communicate? They would not be able to, which is how it is not accessible. And if you think about the affordability, as well as the apps are also expensive, if you think about the raw form, if you want to laminate those pictures, you're going to need a lamination machine, you're going to need to have lamination paper, and the price can go up and up. So here is a very raw form of Technopics and what the screen is going to look like and how the intuitive functionings are. So to continue with my solution, the effectiveness is basically going to have an adaptive technology implemented that's going to be able to provide recommendations based on past activity. So for example, every morning a child requests a glass of milk. After X amount of days of that child requesting at that time and place, they will be able to provide recommendations so that the time of that output message is reduced and communication is almost seamless. And here you could also see that the intuitive navigation could allow for more output production, which was shown on the previous slide. It also keeps the recently used images and sentences near the top, while the rest are organized alphabetically. And that is also very good because then they can search for it as well. The accessibility solution is also that it'll be available on all devices and all device providers, as well as have accommodations for those with various motor challenges, which is important because autism is also accompanied usually with motor challenges. And also the affordability solution is that it's only going to be $49.99 in the App Store, which is a 50% reduction in the competitors. So the target market, who are we targeting? Here you can see a boy is pictured, and that's because there's a 1-to-4 ratio where boys are more prevalent. And the US and Canada have different prevalence rates, where Canadian prevalence is 1 in 66 kids born are going to be autistic. And 50% of this population are going to be nonverbal or will not be able to functionally communicate. And this means using communication to receive what they need. So they might be able to use words, but not in a communicative way to get what they need. So the CDC says that by age 2, a diagnosis by an experienced professional can be considered very reliable. However, many children do not receive this final diagnosis until much older. So this is important to note that we will be looking at specifically those with severe communicative difficulties. So those are going to be the individuals who are reliably diagnosed at the younger age. And also, to continue with the prevalence rates, you can see here visually that there is an increasing trend since the 2000 to 2016, that there's an increasing trend of individuals who are diagnosed with autism. So this is important to note that it is an important population to look for. So the affluence, the income is also averaged to about $43.5 thousand a year, based on this one sample where they say that the average loss of annual income is associated with having a child with ASD is around 14% of their annual income of $6,200, which is important to consider the government funding because this low income. And according to the new government policies, they're going to a needs-based program where lower functioning autistic individuals can receive up to $60,000 a year, which is amazing. So the marketing objective is that the gradually introduce this new picture-based communication app to the autism community. And we'll be doing this through indirect assessments, such as interviews and surveys to engage these users, social networking, websites, and ads that are directed towards this population. How will this app make money? In the App Store for $49.99, where the business model is pay, then play, where you pay right now $49.99 and then you get to play forever. So the Canadian sales here are depicted, where year one sales, we could estimate $28,000, whereas we could see an increase of trend where up to $71,000 in our third year sale estimates. So startup costs are averaged to about $6,825, and this is so low because the co-business owners are those who are going to be developing the app. So future growth. First, improve the app for those who are using it now. Second, expand, maybe provide a learning component that can be used by the therapist to help teach this tool. And then 3, explore how effective this app is in comparison to those other methods, as well as maybe this app could be used for other communication difficulty populations, such as those with aphasia who suffered from stroke. So thank you so much for listening, and like us on Facebook at TechnoPic and add us on LinkedIn. My name is Anastasia Kudrova-Wilkinson, and my partners are David and Michael Kogan. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me at kudrova@mcmaster.ca. Thank you so much for listening.